Every week I do it with no audio. So let's start again. Um, so if you anyone who doesn't, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you're all in good health with what's going on, and your family and friends are all as well. For anyone who doesn't follow me on Twitter, it is there, and over on Instagram, the same again, but with an underscore after it as well. So make sure you're following me on both of those. If you are new here, please go and hit the subscribe button. Would really appreciate the support. So the key talking points today: blank game week 31, final plans with it coming up, but coronavirus potentially being the big talking point there as well. I will be doing at the start of the stream a sort of intro on the virus and what I think the implications will be, and I'll be recording that as well, so I won't be answering questions in that, so that I can post it on social media and things like that. But I thought it would be useful to do it while I'm on stream, just so you guys can hear it as well. So I will do that right away, and then we'll get into the rest of the stream and all your questions, guys. So there'll be a little intro to that and everything. Hi guys, hi everyone on Twitter and on Instagram. Just recording a short video to post to you all on my thoughts on the coronavirus and how this will impact our FPL teams and the Premier League going forward for the rest of the season. It looks as if a lot of leagues in Europe, including the Champions League and Europa League, will be put on hold and potentially cancelled for the rest of the season, if not postponed, to be finished during the summer when the Euros would have been taking place, and they look like the chances of that going ahead is very minimal now. The Premier League we haven't heard so much on, and as a country, England is maybe behind others on what is being done. So very little restrictions and things are being put in place so far, and just mass events have been banned. So what that will mean is, especially this weekend going into game week 30, we'll likely be having no fans at the stadiums. All matches will be played behind closed doors, and that is what we will see for the future. Now, there is more money in the Premier League, which I think it is worth noting compared to a lot of the other leagues, which is why I'm slightly suspicious about whether the league will be called off completely, and I could see it being played behind closed doors for a significant amount of time for the rest of the season without any fans before it gets called off. It's worth noting that next week in the blank game week 31, there are only 4 matches. Now, if this round of matches was to be cancelled or postponed, that would, followed by the international break, it would give the Premier League and the country sort of 3 weeks to try and deal with the problem without any football going on, without that helping to spread the disease. So that is definitely a possibility. With the Champions League and the FA Cup and other competitions also in turmoil, there is a potential that with those being cancelled, the game weeks get condensed together, so they could be playing midweek and weekend for several weeks, or these game weeks that are put at the week, this in game week 31 coming up, could be moved into the midweek, so we could see more blanks and doubles arising. Overall, I mean, there's not much that we can say. It's very sort of inconclusive at this time. We're up in the air a lot. We know very little about what's going on. So just some of my thoughts there on what I plan on happening. I don't see it changing too much right now, although with some of the players being tested for the disease, if those come back positive, then that could be the end of the season. So come tomorrow, which is Friday tomorrow, we could have a completely different story. But for now, just keep playing as you're playing. I'd leave your game week transfers as late as possible in the game week to make sure that it's fine for everything is to go ahead that weekend, rather than making it on a Monday with the matches of the weekend. So just keep your ears open in terms of FPL and the Premier League, and most importantly, stay safe and stay healthy, the lot of you. Thanks, guys. So I hope that made sense to any of you guys watching here. Sorry, I just recorded that on my phone so that I can then post that on Twitter and things like that. Did you hear the news that Regani, the young defender, has got the virus now? Yes, and several Leicester players are being tested. So we've heard that apparently it is Soyuncu, Amati, and Perez are the 3 players from Leicester who are being tested. Now, as I said in that video, if these players do test positive, which I think is unlikely, but if they do, then that could be the end of the league this season. It could definitely be called off. Now, the implications that has, I don't know. What happens with the league? What happens with the top 4? What happens with the Champions League places? What happens with the Europa League? What happens with relegation? Things like that. I have absolutely no idea what the implications would be on that. None at all. I couldn't even hazard a guess. Maybe it's either do they go with where people are sat now, or do they go with what it was at the start of the season? And next season is just a repeat of what we had this season, which would be harsh on some clubs like Leicester City, who then would not be in the Champions League next season, or the Europa League. Or what is the plan going forward? But anyway, let's get into it and not all talk about the virus. So this will be my points from last week. So 38 points last week. Yeah, that's a possibility. Could just write it off completely. And no title for Liverpool, potentially. It is a potential play when the Euro should be again. Again, it's a possibility to play it when the Euro should be. Did someone find a cure yet? So no. It normally takes about 12, 18 months to find a cure for a new disease like that. So we're unlikely to find one before next winter at the earliest, I think. There are things that they've found which sort of slow down and can help it a little bit, yes, but not necessarily a cure. If any of you are biology or know much about biology, so they found the genome in the virus that is causing the problem, which once they've found that, they can then start to find a vaccine. The problem is once they've found the vaccine for it, they then have to do rigorous testing on it to make sure that that vaccine doesn't have side effects, which is what takes up the most of the time. Yeah. So that's what takes up most of the time, is making sure there's no side effects, because of course you have to test it on something and wait to see if there's any side effects there. Well, they're trying to rush it through, but yeah, 12 to 18 is optimistic. So I don't think we can't be relying on us finding a vaccine for this to die down. Albert, so we'll just get into it. So this was my team last week. No, it's not. Why hasn't it updated? This was the week before. So this is what? Is this not my team? Why? When I click, here we go. So my team last week, we scored 59 points. I had my captaincy on De Bruyne, who didn't play either. So the vice captains fell to Salah, and Cantwell came off my bench. So, I mean, yes, I got lucky with my vice captain on Salah, but then 1 point off the bench from Cantwell. If De Bruyne had played, probably would have been better off, to be honest. Gaeta again, a 10-pointer, love it, absolutely love it. I did make a late -4, so this involved me. So this -4 involved me selling Kelly, as well as selling Martial, and to bring in McNeil and Doherty. So combined, they scored one more point. Oh no, yes. It basically worked out bad for a hit, but good overall if you don't take the -4 into account. Um, yeah, so actually not having the double game week worked in my favour with only one Man City player who we didn't know if he was going to start, and a lot of people having the likes of Vardy, Aguero, Aubameyang in their teams. It worked in my favour. It was good to see Vardy back in with an 11-pointer. Very happy with that. But yeah, so I had a very tiny green arrow, about 470k to 480k. But I can't really complain at that where I was before my vice captain came in. Nuclear Atom says, not having the double game week screwed my team, but first the priority is the health of the players. That's right, of course, that's the number one reason. Had to take precautionary measures, had to stay safe. Ooh. So yeah, that was my team last week. Lascelles and slightly annoying on the bench, especially when I started his opponent Stevens, who was in for a clean sheet for most of the game but ended up without them. In terms of my team next week, this is how I'm currently lining up. With all the games still planning to go ahead, Gaeta in goal, Doherty, Trent, Robertson, Salah, De Bruyne, Traore, Campbell, Vardy, Ings, Jimenez, with Lascelles first on my bench, Stevens second on my bench, and McNeil away at Man City last on my bench. I plan on rolling my free transfer, and then taking a -4 to get 11 players out for the double, for the blank, selling Vardy, selling Campbell, and probably selling Stevens. Vardy may well come back in on my wild card, which will be straight after 31, going into 32. But Vardy will probably make way to free up funds of Campbell to Ali, Vardy down to Wood maybe, Campbell up to Ali, and then Stevens to maybe Charlie Taylor, Tanganga, something like that is the plan. But we will see on form and things like that. Yeah, so that's how I'm lining up. What about you guys? Have anyone made early transfers and regretting them, or happy with their transfers? What were your game week 29 points like? Happy with it? Green arrow, red arrow? Let me know in the chat. In the chat, let me know. But yeah, so my transfers is likely to be Traore out. I won't do it now. Traore out, Vardy out, and Stevens out into 31 to Taylor, Ali, and Chris Wood. Am I happy with my subs in the order they are? Is that what you mean? Because I think you mean because I might be called on them if games are cancelled this weekend. I'm looking at what games could be cancelled. Is Leicester potentially, which would mean Vardy wouldn't play. But to be honest, if the Leicester game gets cancelled, I could see that being the league written off. So yeah, I don't really know what the plan is with that. So it's not. I'm fine with my bench and how it is looking up. Evening, the FPL Chris Packet. How you doing? Yeah, evening Charlie. How you doing? Did -12 last week, but got some green arrow. Wow. What were your transfers that you made that you took a -4? I'm not sure I'll have time to do team reviews this week, Nuclear. If you can send them me on Twitter, then I will get back to you on them. But What did I say? I know it's you, Charlie. Am I doing any transfers? So this is how my team looks at the moment. I plan on rolling my free transfer in order to take a -4 going into game week 31. The issue is all the teams that play. Sorry, I'm just plugging my phone in. All the teams that play in 31 have rubbish fixtures this week and last week, which is a bit of a pain. So it means that we want all of them for that week, but we don't want them in the lead up to it, really, apart from Wolves and Liverpool. But all right, okay. Thoughts on Alonso? Brought him into captain. I like him as a differential, and I think he's a differential enough that you don't need to put your captaincy armband on him. I expect him to play, although Azpilicueta at left back, Reece James at right back isn't necessarily impossible for us. But yeah, thought he's a good option, but I wouldn't captain him. So if we look at the fixtures that are coming up, I am going to whistle through this stream a little bit, but I will get to your questions, guys. Let me just refresh them. Sorry, they've just announced the Wolves team for tonight, because the Merseyside derby most of the times have a low-scoring game. Is possible. It is definitely possible. So fixture tracker again. We see a few of you mentioning in the chat Fernandes. Fernandes is a great pick. They have the easiest fixtures. If we go even till the end of the season, Man United first have the best fixtures between now and the end of the season. Fernandes is an absolutely brilliant pick. On my wild card, I will have Fernandes, I will have Wan-Bissaka, and I will probably have Martial as well. I will have triple Man United on my Game Week 32 wild card if all things are still going ahead. So this is, if you message me on Twitter, I'll send you the link. It's Public Tableau Premier League fixtures 2019-2020. I'd probably put that in. So Public Tableau, as that's at the top, and then Premier League fixtures 1920, and it should come up. Yeah, it's really useful. It sort of updates it depending how teams are playing and things like that. Wolves also at the top. Now, Wolves are interesting with the next 3 being really easy, and when I wildcard in 32, will they be included? I'm not so sure. But City with 2 doubles now still to come, or even a triple. Yeah, they need to start fitting in some games. Man City do. But if the Champions League's called off, then that would completely change things. So, yeah, Fernandes captain. I think Everton will win and Salah away form is shocking. Yeah, Salah may not end up being my captain, but I don't know who else. If I get early team news on Vardy, could I captain him if he starts? Yes, definitely a possibility on Vardy. But we'll see. I love a Monday night captain. My favourite things in the game, a Monday night captain. And having 3 Liverpool plus a Monday night captain doesn't get much better than that. Salah, Sage, Dunk, Fleck, Tassar, Fernandes, Alonso, Doherty. Okay, I can see why he did that. Salah out is an interesting one, but presumably to prepare for the blanks, and didn't go horribly wrong those transfers. So didn't pay you back the 12 points, but it was trying to work it out. Definitely better on one side than the other. You think Liverpool Everton has a risk of being cancelled? Well, if that gets cancelled, then I'm down to, and most of us are down to 11 players. one of which will be McNeil away at City. So, well, we will see. My vice captain's on De Bruyne, but I don't know. But it is worth, and I have a tweet coming out. Make sure that your vice captain plays in one of the early games. Plays on the Saturday in case there's a problem, in case something happens overnight. It's unlikely, but it might. So if I know Vardy's starting, it'll probably be on him. Yeah, it's a tough one because you sort of need to be planning everything around. You need to kind of forget about it, but then if it's going to have a huge impact, then there's no point planning, which is why I'm glad. I'm glad I've got my wild card. But if there's complete changes to the schedule of the season, it's not impossible that they give us a new wild card. So then what happens? If I've still got it, then what? Do I get two? But then I have two to play in 8 game weeks. So, which is part of the reason I think probably playing it after game week 31 is the way I'll go. Just to use it, get in a full just getting a full 15 that I'd like in case there are cancellations and things like that. So, do you bench Barnes and Soyuncu considering Leicester? So, I wouldn't bench them. The rumour is that it is Soyuncu, Amati, and Perez are the 3 that are being tested for the virus. And those results are set to come back tomorrow, and we will see what happens on that. I wouldn't bench them. They do have a great fixture. Maybe bench Barnes. Yeah, there's not that much we can talk about really. I don't really have any topics planned. Just if you guys have any more questions, go for it. If not, then I'll be answering them on Twitter all over the weekend. This Wolves lineup is interesting and it is good. I'm surprised this Wolves game is going ahead, to be honest, especially with the Champions League games being called off. Then why is this Europa League match going ahead? But anyway, but yeah, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I'm absolutely knackered, so I might just call it, to be honest. If you guys have any more questions, please come and ask them to me on Twitter and stuff like that, guys. But I'm so knackered, I need to go to bed. Sorry, guys. I hope you all have a good game week. Currently have KDB, Ings, Soy on the bench. Why? Get KDB in your starting lineup, get Ings in your starting lineup, and potentially get Soy in your starting lineup. Why are those players on your bench? De Bruyne will start this weekend. I'm sure of it. Best Pereira replacement, Doherty if you don't have him. Still Doherty. If you can, I'm tempted by Dean going forward. Their fixtures are quite nice come game week 33, I think it is. If you're free hitting, then Dean is one that I might look at. Bit of a differential. You're coming down with the corona? No, I am not. I'm just had a long week, a lot of work on. So, yeah. But yeah, guys, final questions. I am happy to answer. If you keep doing them, I'll send you a DM and you'll understand my headache. Okay, yeah, Christ, send me the DM now and I will get back to it. Or even if you just send your team ID quickly, I can look at it on here for you if you'd like. Yeah, just send it to me in the DM then. All right, guys. Thanks for being live for half an hour. So I hope you all have a good weekend. Stay safe, everyone. All right. Quarry sent it. Right. What's your team ID? Alright guys, I'll do some teams. Put your teams in the chat quickly though. If I get to one and there's not another one in the chat, then I'm not waiting. So first, Quarry, 74, nice. Your bench this week is currently KDB, Ings, Soy. So Soy stay on the bench, Lascelles on the bench for De Bruyne, and maybe Calvert-Lewin, Sarr. Watford have Leicester at home, but then if you're not going to, I'd want De Bruyne and Ings in there. I'd bench Soyuncu and Lascelles, and then your last one is a bit of a gamble. Maybe Calvert-Lewin, maybe Sarr, maybe take the risk on someone like Doherty or even Trent. But yeah, it'd probably be Sarr for me. But yeah, I understand your frustration. So Lazzy bench boost 84. I like that. Sadly, none for De Bruyne, but still a good bench boost. This week, your bench will probably have Lascelles on. It may have Bolly on. It will have. So if you're free hitting, you don't need that. Or Saka. Saka will be on your bench, Lascelles, and then one other. So So if we look at who's got the best fixtures, maybe Wan-Bissaka. Get that United defender in if you don't have your wild card anymore. I think they're going to keep some clean sheets, so maybe Wan-Bissaka. If it works with rotation and things like that, then that's who I'd be going with. But yeah, guys, that is all from me. And yeah, Pereira injured for the season if he doesn't transfer. Yeah, Pereira out, definitely. Who did I say? Wan-Bissaka, yes, I like him as a replacement. He will be in my wild card. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, and I will see you when I see you. Streams will be going on whether I'm quarantined or not. Cheers, guys, and good luck at your game week.